sing daily, so you can have a look also. And even when there is no Mass. And the reading is from the Book of Kings. In those days there came two women that were harlots to King Solomon, and stood before him. And one of them said, I beseech thee, my lord, I and this woman dwelt in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the chamber. And the third day after that I was delivered, she also was delivered. And we were together, and no other person with us in the house, only we two. And this woman's child died in the night, for in her sleep she overlaid him. And rising in the dead of time of the night, she took my child from my side, while I, thy handmaid, was asleep, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But considering him more diligently, when it was a clear day, I found it that it was not mine which I bore. And the other woman answered, It is not so as you say, but thy child is dead, and mine is alive. On the contrary, she said, Thou liest, for my child liveth, and thy child is dead. And in this manner they strove before the king. Then said the king, The one saith, My child is alive, and thy child is dead, and the other answereth, Nay, but thy child is dead, and mine liveth. The king therefore said, Bring me a sword. And when they had brought a sword before the king, Divide, said he, the living child in two, and give half to the one, and half to the other. But the woman whose child was alive said to the king, for her heart was moved for her child, I beseech thee, my lord, give her the child alive, and do not kill it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it. The king answered and said, Give the living child to this woman, and let it not be killed, for she is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, seeing that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment. And the Gospel is from St. John. At that time the Pasch of the Jews was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem, and he found in the temple them that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made, as it were, a scourge of little cords, he drove them all out of the temple, the sheep also and the oxen, and the money of the changers. He poured out, and the tables he overthrew. And to them that sold doves he said, Take these things hence, and make not the house of my Father a house of traffic. And his disciples remembered that it was written, The zeal of thy house hath eaten me up. The Jews therefore answered and said to him, What sign dost thou show unto us, seeing thou dost these things? Jesus answered and said to them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. The Jews then said, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou raise it up in 3 days? But he spoke of the temple of his body. When therefore he was risen again from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this, and they believed in the scripture and the word that Jesus said. Now when he was at Jerusalem at the Pasch upon the festival day, many believed in his name, seeing his sign which he did. But Jesus did not trust himself unto them, for that he knew all men, and because he needed not that any should give any testimony of man, for he knew what was in man. Name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost, Amen. My dear friends, our Lord is casting out the sellers because the Jews were corrupt. All they care is about money. So what I want you to tell the neighbors that the sacraments are free, because what's happening in Busordo is the same as in this story. They've transformed the Catholic Church into a house of commerce. They are selling the sacraments. They get married now.
you have to pay 5,000 pesos at least. And so people don't get married in the valley where we are. People are not getting married because the Novice Ordo is charging. And it's a huge scandal because people ultimately leave the Catholic Church and they become Protestants. They change religion because the Novice Ordo is so corrupt. As for us, you need to tell the poor people there that they need to get married, they need to have the sacraments, and the sacraments are given for free by us. We only take what you raise in the collections when we come, and we only take what you give from your heart. So if you have nothing to give from your heart, that's wrong, but we are not taking. We don't depend on pressuring people. And anyways, God provides. So I never ask for funds, I only say thanks. And God provides for the rest. It's to show you that money must be despised. It is not even a means. It's not something to which we should bother very much. What we must bother is our soul. So make a good Lent. Most you ladies are beyond age, but all of those who are of age, between 18 and 65, we can practice some fasting as we do, in seminary, as we do as religious. I invite you to join us, because just like money, food is not necessary for us to live. Our food is the divine grace. Our soul needs to eat, and the eating of the soul is the fasting of the body. You've got these two are competing. That was the main problem of the Jews. They were carnal. They are carnal, and that's why the grace of God could not dwell in them. They were too carnal, and that's why they lost everything. They lost the inheritance. Like in the story of Esau. Esau is too carnal. He gives up everything for a plate of lentils. And this is what carnal people do over and again. They give up heaven. They give up prayer. They give up fasting. They give up good works. They give up everything in order to spend all their times on the thing of the earth. And they, for instance, they are too preoccupied by the success of their children in school. And therefore the children don't become pious, that I see in many places. So for a plate of lentil, they give up eternal life. And so the child grows, and then the priority is the exam and everything. And in places we can see even parents, they don't bring their children to Mass when there is exam. So half of the time, half of the year, the children don't even have Sunday Mass, even if the Mass is only once a month. I've seen that elsewhere. And that's because of avarice. The love of money is too strong. And if you love money, you are the slave of that God. Mammon is the demonic god that controls money. And so don't love money. And there is a lot of work to be done to rebuild the church. But if we are very poor, we will rebuild the church with the correct clergy, a clergy that doesn't love money. And it seems to be very hard, because it's a temptation of the priest. The problem of avarice is not the fact that people like to pile up money. That's for other people, the Chinese, the rich Chinese, and so forth. The problem of avarice is that fear, the fear that people have to lack things. The people are scared. So people are scared about what the others are going to think about them if they do the right thing. That's human respect. And people are scared of the shame of lacking money or ignoring money. And so, as a consequence, our only option is to trample money, is to despise money as much as we can. And our Lord showed is how much He despised money. He never touched money Himself. The only one who touched money was Judas. As a consequence, you can see the Capuchin brothers, they don't even touch money. They are not allowed. The faithful can touch money, but none of them is touching money. People bring them food, people manage their property, it's third order, but they never touch money. They never have any coins or anything in the... When they are hungry, they ask people for some food. That's what they do. But they don't touch money in any way. And the novice order church is completely rotten with the corruption of money. And they don't care if people are turning away from the faith. They really don't care. Also, one sign that the Protestants are wrong is their preaching. So the Protestants are perhaps less corrupt than the novice order church, but they also have a problem because they confuse God's blessing with financial blessing. A financial blessing is not a blessing because it depends on how your heart is going to be attached or not to money. So God doesn't bless you if He gives you money. It doesn't mean that God loves you, not at all. And it could mean more that God ignores you than God loves you. So the root of all sin is avarice, says St. Paul. All sins feed on that root of avarice, this carnal spirit. That's why there is a season of Lent, so that we can get rid of the false mentality, the wrong mentality, and the wrong fears that we have for money, the preoccupation that we have for money. So we fast from food, but we need to fast from plenty of other things. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.